Good evening, everybody. It's another Monday night with bees all day. Hope everybody had a great weekend. And it's cold here in the valley tonight. It's 29 degrees, and they're calling for freezing rain, sleet, and snow tonight, lasting into the day tomorrow. We got a special guest, Andy, night tonight on tonight. Um, he's going to be presenting the micro uncapper or the micro harvester. The gentleman that won first place is from Australia, and I think Andy's the one that's going to be presenting it for him tonight. If anybody sees a gentleman named Scott come into the chat, he is the actual
Simon is his name.
Simon.
Simon.
He is the actual inventor of this. So let me know if anybody sees him in here tonight, and I'll bring him on screen as well. But we're going to let Andy go ahead and get started.
All right, thanks, Bill. Thanks for agreeing to jump on and do this. I thought this might be a good place to get some feedback for these guys, as well as kind of get some more visibility and awareness. You'll actually be able to see this at Nabi. They will be there. I believe they'll have a limited number of them to sell for fulfillment in the first part of the year. They started as a Kickstarter. I don't remember exactly how many years ago, but we caught up with them. We saw their Kickstarter, and then we were fortunate enough to be able to travel to Apimondia this year, which was in Denmark, and met with them in person. So I've actually seen this work. I have my own personal video, not just the ones that are on the tube. And hey, Mike. And so we saw them actually extract honey out of this. And I was, as I've told Simon, I was a little skeptical in the beginning. And then once I saw it, it made perfect sense. And then as I've sat around and kind of thought about it and think about the market for it, it does have some appeal even for some of the larger beekeepers that maybe run stores or do markets and that kind of thing. And I'll talk a little bit about that. But I want to kind of take you on a little bit of a journey. I think most everybody on here, I've lurked on here for several weeks and months. Occasionally I've been on with Bill once or twice just to chat about something. But I think most people here probably in that 50, 60 colony hives, probably more in many cases. And you may have started out just being a backyard beekeeper thinking I'd only want one or two hives. And of course, bee math kicked in and you now have, 10, 20, 30, 40 of them. But if you can remember back to those days of when you first started and it came time to extract honey, you needed tools. You needed a decapper, a knife. You started with a strainer. You maybe got a bucket. And you had an uncapping tub. I didn't pull all the tools out. We'd be piled up to our neck in tools that you need to uncap. And so these guys, Simon specifically set out thinking there's got to be a better way. And what they came up with was this micro harvester. Let me grab it real quick. This is the extractor. And if it's not close enough, Bill, just kind of tell me and I'll slide the tripod forward so you can get a little closer look at it. Battery operated, it'll run on a USB-C connection as well. Got a lid, cleanable device. It can go in your dishwasher. It's dishwasher safe. And it's an extractor. So when it comes time to extract, you take your frames. And these are just standard Langstroth frames. I really wish I had some with honey in it, but that's just not the time of year that we have around here in South Texas.
Can you get the camera a little bit closer?
I can.
Is that
How's
better,
that?
DC? Can you see it now, DC?
Best we can do, DC, is slide the camera. So maybe, is that close enough?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you know.
All right. So it's a standard Langstroth frame. As you can see, there's both kinds here. The deep frame fits in your deep boxes. So this would be a change if you're running mediums in your supers or shallows even. But this is the frame, and you'll see this has 8 cassettes in it. And the bees will fill this, rub this down with some wax before you put it in, before your nectar flow, and rub this down with wax, and the bees will fill this with nectar, cap this off, and you'll have honey. And when it comes time to extract, let's say they haven't completely capped up all of them, or maybe they did cap up all of them, and you're ready to go, you can take these cassettes out. Yes, they'll probably be a little challenging when there's propolis smeared around them, but they'll be capped up, and you don't have to uncap them. You take them apart with this little cute tool, and you just twist it, and it's going to come apart like this. Now we've exposed the honey that's in these cells, right? No decapping or anything like that. We're going straight from the frame right into the extractor. So I'll try to tilt this so that you can see what's going to happen here. I should have had an assistant this evening. And we're going to slide a frame in here, the side of the cassette in here. All right, I need 2 hands to hold things still so it doesn't try to rotate on me. Slide that one in there. Slide this one in here. Actually, I think I have that in there wrong. Slide that one in there. We'll turn it on. We'll put our lid back on. Can't see. All right, it's on. And we'll push the button. Oh, come on. Nothing like a live demo to get things where you need to be.
Yeah.
This one has traveled the world. This is the exact unit that was at Apimondia. We had it at the Texas Beekeeper Convention, and it worked fine. There it goes. So now it's spinning. You might be able to see that. I can't really tilt it over while it's spinning, but if I stick my hand in there, you'll see it knock my fingers out of the way. You should really do this with the lid on. But basically, it's going to sling the honey out of the center of this cassette, sling it on the sidewalls. Very little wax, not any more than you would get if you were doing your own extraction in what would be considered a traditional way. But you can see, I'll come up here. Maybe this will help. Those are drawn, it's not drawn, but it is manufactured cells that the bees will fill with honey. I have seen it. We have a frame that is with a local beekeeper who's trying to get the bees to stuff it with some nectar, which might be the frame that you see at Nabi. And when it comes time to take it apart, it comes apart, and the honey will be exposed on the inside. And so when we put it into the micro harvester, it'll sling that honey out. Now, I didn't study the amount of nectar that would be in each one of these, but it can be varied. The bees will do some similar things. So if you have a 10-frame box and you do a 9-frame, 9 frames in a 10-frame box and separate the frames apart, they will build out some deeper cells on this. We saw a little bit of that on the frame that we saw in Copenhagen. But it's pretty simple and pretty easy to clean up. So now you're done. You've extracted your however much honey you wanted, and you've either consumed it right then or you've put it in a little jar, because remember, we're not producing this at scale. This is not a at scale solution, but this is for somebody that's got 1, 2, 3 hives maybe, that doesn't want to have a bunch of stuff to have to store, take up 4 feet of their garage with extractors and buckets and other stuff. They just do bees because they enjoy it. They're not looking to do anything else. And you can clean this all up, put these back out. The bees will clean these up, put them back in the cassettes. If it's still your nectar flow, bees will fill these back up. You don't have to uncap them or anything. Bees will fix that all right up. The kind of some interesting thoughts about this for use, especially people that are going to markets and are taking their honey to market. This is another way to create connectedness with your consumer. I know we get a lot of questions in the store and even at some markets or just even at kids events and that kind of thing. Well, how do you extract honey? Well, you can now show them conceptually exactly how it works right there at the booth at your farmer's market or whatever events that you attend. It would also be a good training tool as well for people to going through a class or something like that. And even for some of you that are serving restaurants where they maybe are an upscale, I think of a Michelin restaurant, although I can't say I've ever been to one. This might be an interesting approach for them to be able to spin raw honey tableside. I know down here in Texas, we get tableside guacamole, right? We watch them cut avocados and make it all right there. Now you could even do tableside honey without giving up a whole frame. You would just pull a cassette, or you'd have a stack of cassettes, right? And then do this right at the table side. A whole different kind of experience at the end of the day. The storage for this, the frames, if you still had frames that had honey in them, this is going to be a lot easier to store in the freezer. Just take the cassettes out and stack them up neatly in the corner of the freezer. You don't have to have necessarily a dedicated freezer for big Langstroth frames. I have one of those for that. And then this can go in your kitchen cabinet or in your pantry until it's needed. And then when you're done, it's very easy to clean up. Those of you that have done this, you know the effort involved in cleanup after the process. And that could also be a deterrent for some people that maybe think it's too expensive to get into the game. But it's interesting. We're excited to try this out in the spring. So we're counting the days until we can start putting these out and letting the bees play with it. We'll be sure to wax them up. We'll just take the wax bar and run over them. We may even take the wax roller while I'm waxing frames and roll over it. We'll do it a couple different ways to experiment with the results. So that was, I'm curious about some feedback, and I don't know if Simon made it on or not. I'm not sure what was going on for him today.
Yet.
Okay. And, but I'm curious to, I know the two big questions are, well, how much honey can you get per frame? I don't have that answer for you, but I can certainly get it back to Bill, and he can do an update one of the next Mondays or something. But
DC had a question.
Sure.
He wants to know if are they making cachets for foundationless honeycomb yet for that? Or are they going to?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. Don't know. That's good feedback, though, DC. We replace this with a different consumable product that the bees could just draw wax in.
Yeah.
Then you could have versatility in its use.
Yeah.
In my opinion, then this is not them. This is me thinking about how this product can be used and adaptations that could potentially be made. The cassette the cassette and the extractor are kind of the ingenious parts here. The Langstroth frame is the Langstroth frame. But I think about it because we also speak layens here. We get a lot of layens beekeepers, and one of their hurdles is, well, how do I get honey from that without going and buying a huge extractor? One idea, possibly, and once it's available in the market, this could be done pretty easily. You could build an adapter that these frames could fit in a layens box, because layens people don't generally, in my experience with the ones that I've talked to, aren't doing mass amounts of honey extraction. They just like keeping bees, but they want a little bit of nature's goodness every once in a while. These could be in there very easily. You could get 9 in here, and then just extract what you need from a lay-ins, just as another idea. Um, always trying to figure out how I can get more value out of the investments that we have and the tools that we have and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So has he gotten any idea of a retail price on that yet, Andy?
Don't hold me to it, but I think at Nabi they're going to be $649, and it's going to include 10 frames.
10 frames?
Yep. Now that was a discussion. I think that is the plan, but that is their business to kind of figure out. But that's kind of what I understand.
So what's the name of the company?
The name of the company is the Micro Harvester. And if you do a search for that on the web, it'll come up. But I can actually look that up for you real quick. I think.
Yeah, I found a video on it.
Yeah, I can't remember what he called the name.
Micro honey harvester.
Hive Keepers.
Hive keepers.
Yeah. That's right. I got confused.
Yeah. He is going to be at Nabi.
Yes.
I don't see a booth number. I'll look that up on my map here in a little bit.
Yes, they will be there.
And I will put the Hive Keepers link in the chat. There's a link to their website, and there is a video on the website.
Yep.
That gives you information about it.
And I think we published the video that we shot with them on Facebook back in, I guess that was November, when we were at Apimondia.
And they're marketing this towards a small scale beekeeper, somebody with not a lot of hives, a quote unquote backyard beekeeper is what they're marketing this towards, correct, Andy?
Yes, that is the target market. Absolutely. Okay. And, you think about beyond the borders of the US. I sat through several talks, Bill, at Apimondia about beekeeping in underdeveloped nations as a means for them to have product or have a way to, does it have a drain valve? No, it does not have a drain valve. It pours right out the top. And so, and we've worked with a few people being this close to the Mexico border and the Port of Houston, where people were taking stuff out of the country, hive boxes and frames and that kind of thing. But it's really hard for them to take an extractor out. Mm-hmm. And so this could have some applicability in those situations as well. So I think it's just an imagination that holds us back on how it can be used to some extent. I think it's an interesting product for somebody that's just trying to do a couple of hives. and for those that are trying to educate and create a different experience at the end of the day.
Right.
It sure beats pulling out a 2-frame extractor, which would be kind of the next thing you'd go to, right?
Yeah,
Um,
2 or 3. Yeah.
Pulling that out, and then you've got, and you don't want to pull that out unless you're going to do, well, a minimum of 2, but you probably want to do 10, and
Yeah.
then that's a time commitment. Where here you can just pull a cassette. I just need enough honey for today. I'll get the rest of it tomorrow. Um, so,
Yeah.
speaking of Apimondia, we also brought back. I don't have it sitting out here easily ready to show, but we could do this another time. I think the second place or third place award, innovation award, went to an uncapper out of Poland. Um, it was pretty interesting. It resulted in buying another suitcase to come home with. Yeah, we talk about the North American Honeybee Expo, and I've been there 2 or 3 times, and that is quite the exhibit hall. But it is, I would say, it's not anywhere near what the Apimondia exhibit hall was in terms of scale of equipment. Um, I mean, Lyson is the elephant in the room in that part of the world with their big extractors, and then you have all the other companies that are there, like Swente, um, and some of the other names that are going to escape me, that have these big uncapping lines. It's big business in that part of the world, very big business. So, and of course, we had all the Chinese um, people were there too,
Yeah.
as well. And then they sell things like bee venom, propolis, all different kinds of products of the hive as well. That you just don't see a lot of here in the U.S. We don't see a lot of bee venom for sale in the U.S. Matter of fact, you don't really see any. I
I
don't
don't
think.
see any.
Right. Uh,
So looking on the website, the knobby price is $5.99.
okay.
They have a micro starter set for $3.99. They have a 5-frame set for $5.19, and their typical price on their harvester starter kit just off their website is $6.49. So you're
Okay.
saving $50
Yep.
when you buy it at Nobby.
Yeah, and I think those will ship. Well, I know he's bringing. I think he's bringing frames with him, but I think unless some things have changed in the past couple of weeks, I think these will ship at the first of the year.
Uh, the harvester will be available in March of 26.
There you go.
What I'm seeing.
Yeah. I know their Kickstarter stuff is on their way to the U.S. right now. So
Yeah. They will have 5 frames per customer at Nobby until sold out.
yeah. DC, let us know if you see any Venom collection system at Nobby. We saw a couple at Apimondia, um, and then we've just seen videos online. But that involves a little bit of electrical shock therapy for the bees, I believe, if I understood what I saw.
Cool.
Yeah, to DC's comment, some of those extractors they load, and these were circular, but they load into cassettes. So there's this metal cage each frame goes into, and then they're spring loaded. And we were really puzzled because we don't really see that here in the U.S. And or at least I've not, and the guy I was with didn't. And so we asked them, and we think what we understood was um, the 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 honey that they're extracting in some parts of that part of the world is a lot heavier. And so the springs kind of create this more of a balancing effect, gyroscope kind of thing, um, inside the extractor to help things work better. But these things are they're they were huge.
Wow.
It's a neat experience to go to Apimondia. Um, for those that maybe haven't gone, if you're ever looking for a trip that you want to do bees while you're on it, the next one is going to be in Dubai. Um, and then I think after that, it's going to Germany, I think. It's every other year is kind of how it works. There's session, hour and a half sessions on a particular theme. And then the talk itself, each talk is only about 15 minutes long. Some of them were 25 minutes. So it's a lot of research, a lot of science, um, in the presentations that I was in. My wife attended a lot of the apitherapy classes. Um, and she said that was very interesting as well.
Hmm. So they combine their talks with live demonstrations. That's kind of cool.
No, the talks are, there's a theme for an hour and a half, and you go into this room, and then each session is 15 minutes. Now, some of them were, like I said, 25 minutes. I mean, basically long enough for them to get their hypothesis out and tell you a little bit about what they started to do, and then they were kind of done. It goes very quick, very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got to see the guy that invented the, I think some of you have seen it. You might have been talking about it a few months ago. The Varroa treatment that you take the brood frames specifically out and put them in the heater and heat the brood to a temperature that affects the mite. And then you take those brood frames and put them back in their box after an hour and a half. I actually got to hear that guy talk. It was rather interesting. And then we went over and saw his equipment at the expo.
Okay. So there was an interesting booth at the Virginia State Conference. They had heaters. I see Tom Max on here. That's the reason I'm bringing this up. They would put heaters under the hive
Mm-hmm.
to heat the hive to about 100 to 105 degrees.
Yeah.
But they didn't introduce any humidity to help control the mite, to bring the
Yeah.
humidity up in the hive as well.
Yeah. There was a company that made something like that here in the U.S. It was essentially a heating pad that went on the bottom board.
Yep,
And then
that's what this was.
you
Yeah.
sealed everything up. Some of the people in our area that had experimented with it, because there was one for rent here in Houston area at one point, and some of the feedback, I'm not saying this is all of it, I don't have any firsthand experience with it. um, it wasn't very predictable in its heat, and they ended up melting some wax.
I bet they did.
Yeah, you almost need some air circulation, that kind of thing, because you end up with all your heat in the ceiling under the lid with nowhere for it to go. And if something goes wrong there, it just continues to heat. We saw a number of those that were solar powered as well, that were similar in construct to that. And I tend to look at these things in that case and go, well, does it scale? Right? Because when you think about our commercial guys in the US, not saying that they have it solved, Um, but if it works, is it something they could use? Is kind of the lens that I look at some of that stuff through. Because if it worked, I think we'd all use it. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think we would too if we all used it.
I like DC's comment. Why not use a
Yeah,
super hair
use
dryer?
use
The
blow it
heat
in the
gun.
front
Get the
door.
heat gun out. Yeah.
Yeah, get the heat
Yeah.
gun out and blow it in the screen bottom board.
Right.
There you go. Heat it up, DC. Just put a bowl of water in there to get the humidity, because you
Yeah.
got to have the humidity for it to work. So, well, Andy, I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Absolutely.
I really do.
Happy
You
to do it.
hang around
Yeah,
the
I'll hang
rest
around for a while.
of the Yeah.
This is not an Apimondia thing, but since we're doing show and tell here, have you guys ever seen the bag? This is from Bequip. It's like 8 feet tall, and it's thick. Oh, you can't see it. I'm standing to the side. It's like 8 feet tall. You can't really see it very well.
Is that the treatment bag?
Yes. This is for putting your supers in after you've extracted. Get them all cleaned up, right? Get the bees out to clean them up. And then box and all can go in this. And I think it'll hold 8 or 9 boxes. I have a couple in the garage right now that I'm seeing how they go.
What treatment would you use in it?
I think the bag has the crystal embedded in it.
Yeah, for the wax.
Yeah. Now, what I did, I just sprayed BT on mine and put them in there. Because as long as, and they've all been through the freezer. So all my frames went through the freezer. The boxes got sprayed with 402, right?
Yeah.
And then they went into the bag, and then I put 2 creases in the top of the bag and tied it up with a zip tie. So we're going to see how that goes.
Okay. So you put the bag down, then put the frames in the bag. Put the
box and frame all in the bag. Yeah. And then you just rotate your boxes so they're not stacked flat to each, or square to each other. You just turn them, I guess it would be 90 degrees or 30 degrees, and stack them up.
Cool.
That'd be a hell of a Ziploc.
Yeah, it is. You're right. And they're coming out with new innovations all the time, and you see more of it at Apimondia than you see at Nabi.
Yeah.
Because it goes to Apimondia and then it comes to Nabi. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, DC, it's like a giant freezer bag, except a lot thicker.
A lot thicker. A lot thicker. Not a good way to show you how thick that is on a camera.
Yeah.
But I don't know what else to have. Bill and I were talking about this earlier. For those that maybe have thought about straws, I've bought the straw machine and just sold it. Straws were never really meant to be heat sealed, in my opinion. And that's, you just use a standard straw. So we moved to doing sachets. So there's just under a half an ounce in here. It's like 0.495 or something like that. And so when you think about body bag, yeah,
body bags laying all over your garage, right?
So you think about your dollar per ounce. This is a much higher premium when you sell it this way, and it works pretty well. We just use a condiment squeeze bottle, put honey in it, fill it from the bottom, and then heat press them. It goes together really well. DC, is Mike in, is it Wisconsin? Because there's a guy that makes honey straws that some of the people down here in Texas take their honey to so that he can do it.
Mike Berry, I believe, is in Louisiana.
Oh, is he? Okay. No, that's not
Yeah.
who I'm thinking of. Sure.
Yeah, flip it
Hold on
around
one
so you see
second.
the honey.
There we go. So
Turn it
that's the
around.
front. So we put a label on it, and then you would tear it from here when you want to use it. So think
Yes.
about your small coffee shops. This is a great way for them to have fresh local honey on the counter.
Yep.
A little
Starbucks.
labor involved. Little labor involved, but not. It's not too bad relative to the straw machines that we have. Simple.
So
Simple.
that's just a heat sealed packet, like
Yeah,
a
right
ketchup.
here. I gotta quit watching myself on the screen. It's right here.
Okay. And you can open either end of it, actually.
You
So
could, but it's designed to open here where the tear is already started for you,
yeah.
right? And then they're easy to decrystallize. Just put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
Also, a great way to do flavors as well. So people want to try a flavor, but they're not willing to commit to the whole bottle. This is a good way to sell them a flavor. For us, at least my understanding of our market, to serve food, I have to have a food serving permit, and that is another fee on top of the market fee. But if
Yeah.
they buy it and taste it, then there's no food
You're
serving permit required.
right. You're not serving it.
Right.
Like
And
Charlie
then you
says,
can,
but they're not child friendly.
they're not child friendly.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not. I don't know. And not any more or less friendly than a straw, unless I'm missing
Dinah,
something, Charlie.
Dinah has a good question for you.
What was it?
Wrong one. Hang on. She says, "How hard is it to fill, and is there a holder to help fill it?"
So I'm still working on the idea of a holder. Hold on, I'll show you what we use. Okay. So this is the empty one, right? And then we use a condiment bottle with a nozzle on it. And yes, you're right. You need 3 arms, right? Because you need another set of hands to kind of open this up. So I'm envisioning in my head a small holder to prop these open. And then when we do this, we try not to have any honey on the tip of this and fill it from the bottom. And then once it starts to go, it kind of helps hold the bag open a little bit. And then try to get this out the top without getting any liquid on where you're going to seal. So for those of you that have done heat seals, food stuff, when you have liquid in there, you end up with varied results when you're doing your heat seal because the liquid changes the
Yeah.
temperatures that the bag feels. So that's how we do it. We've probably done 100 of them.
How many didn't seal out of 100?
Um, I think I had 3 or 4, but that was early on. After that, I've had pretty good success because I've gotten better at making sure that there's no liquid up here. Right.
Okay. So Bill Lee wants to see the uncapper you brought back from the show.
Okay, let me try to pull it out. We are trying to get um, a decapping tank built for it here, just simply because I'm kind of cheap on one hand, and I think we should be able to build stuff here.
That's a half-ounce packet, right?
Um,
Or is it a 1 ounce? Because you said it had
it's
0.49.
yeah, it's 0.495 in it. But if you get too much in it, when you go to close it, it wants to start squeezing out the top. But it's a 2.5 inch by 3.5 inch. White on one side, clear on the other.
Two and a half by 3.5.
Yeah. So this will be hard to demo because I don't have it all put together. This is it. Of course, it's been a minute since I've looked at it. And so what'll happen is this will come up. Yeah. Gotta remember what I learned here. Yeah, there's not enough room on this to make it work. So take a frame. This will do national frames if anybody's running national frames too. So this will go in here like this. We haven't used it yet, so I don't have enough practice time with it just yet. And I think I have the wrong side in. And so anyway, this is going to push this down through this. It lands in your decapping tank, and then they have a slide to slide that into the tank. So this is research in progress. They've built it. They won an award for it. Andy's trying to figure out if it really works. I can't remember which. It must be the national frame. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, this is why we need to spend some more time with this one first. But that was, I think it was the second or third place award winner. It's pretty heavy, pretty solid. It has a handle crank on it. And like I said, it'll affix to a capping tank or an uncapping tank. And then when you push your frame down through the bottom, the teeth are pulling the capping off. The frame falls into the shelf on the tank, and then you push this over and you do the next one. So the problem with picking some of this stuff up at the time that we did, we had already done all of our extraction and everything, so we didn't really have anything to extract. And probably more importantly, we didn't really have a good tank to set this on yet. So that's where we are with that. More to come.
I mean, it looks like it would be useful.
Yeah. Could
for
be.
somebody that, is getting started. Not a lot of frames, but getting started.
Yeah.
Are they going to be at Nobby this year?
I don't think they'll come to Nobby. That's a long plane ride for them.
Okay.
Now, I will tell you something that I think I saw somebody post on there about the decapping roller.
Yeah, DC posted on it, read the decapping roller.
I was highly suspect of this thing. I wasn't sure that it would work. We ran a couple hundred frames through it July 4th. It worked great. The only other tool that I really needed wasn't this one, but was the roller with the spines on it. Just because there were a couple places that were just too shallow that it wouldn't make contact with, so we just rolled those out. But this worked fantastic. So we've made a tub for it and put a gate in it. Uh-oh, are we still there, Bill? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Put a gate in it so it'd be easy to get the honey out. And so you can buy it as a completed kit, or you can just buy the decapping roller. I think, Bill, you have something like this too.
I had
So,
one, and the roller portion of it worked really well. Um, the one I had, it was spring loaded, not canned like that one. And when you push the frame down in, you couldn't get
mhm.
it back out.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Kind of hard for this camera angle to see. And you still can't see, but we can do this. Now, so the way this works, these have bands on the sides, right? And one of these is in a fixed position, and the other one has a groove, so this can move out when the frame goes through, and then it comes back to roll against the wax. So it just puts slits in the wax.
Yeah.
We ended up obviously with much less wax in our uncapping tank, but I would say I ended up with a little bit more wax in my extractor where it ran through the filter into the bucket. Easily solvable. You have more filters,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this was basically the one we used. So my 200 frame extraction day was constrained by a $25 filter.
Yeah, that's when you go away from the filter and go to a clarifying tank.
Yeah, all in time, right? Yeah, more cost, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more cost. Yeah, but still.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So little steps at a time. Anyway, hopefully you found this useful.
Yeah.
Well, four score
Phil
and
wants
7 years
to
ago.
start over.
4 score and 7 years ago.
We'll talk about it some more, Phil. All right. Let's see. Let me see if I can get Charlie on the screen, and
Okay.
everybody will start throwing some
Thanks, Tom.
questions at you. All right.
All right.
Come on in here, Charlie, Tom. Anybody that wants to come in? Phil, come on in. There's Mr. Charlie. Hey, buddy. You ready for tomorrow morning? Like you've got a long commute to work, right?
Yeah, right.
Hey, Charlie.
We're only going to get about maybe an inch,
Yeah, that's what they're saying here.
if that. And by lunchtime, it'll be all rained away.
Yep, it will be. It's going to be nasty enough, just long enough for them to close school.
I don't know. They've already put the salt water on the darn roads out here.
Yeah, they didn't do that down here this time because it's supposed to start as rain and snow and then change over.
Yeah.
So, Andy, where did you get those sealable bags?
Those particular ones right now came from Amazon. Until I can figure out how this process is going to work at scale, and then I'll figure out how to source them less than Amazon. Or at least that's the plan. I really don't like giving Amazon a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So, Tom, how much snow did you get out there? Bee honeybees.
Yeah, Tom, we're supposed to get the snow tomorrow that you're getting today. So, Phil, I think Phil's got some questions if he wants to ask them.
Come on, Phil.
Come on in here, Phil. So you can ask questions. Sounds like you've got some.
What you got there, Andy? Some Jack?
No, this is mead from Denmark. From
Might
Denmark.
as well be.
That was pretty good. Can't read the label, so I can't tell you what it is, but it tasted kind of fruity.
Yeah.
My wife tends to enter mead in our TBA, well, Texas Beekeepers Association annual meetings,
Yeah.
and so the first time she entered, she got best in show with it. I think is what it was, first place and best in show. And then this year, she placed in a number of different categories: pictures and salsa and mead. There were 4 or 5 of them, and it was kind of fun. So we had some people hit the store yesterday. We had just kind of had Sunday fun day where we were teaching a couple of people how to make hot honey, and so we broke out the mead bottles to do that while we were making the hot honey. So
Oh,
so
I
I'm
bet
sitting there.
that
I thought
hot honey turned out good.
it was good. It was good. We were talking about 21st Century Bees stuff too, because he was at the show here in Texas with his bourbon. I did not get to taste it, but a couple of people that were here yesterday were raving about it. So
It's too bad you're not coming to Nobby and taste mine.
yeah, no, I'm gonna go to ABF.
So give Phil a quick synopsis about the extractor there, Phil. I mean Andy.
Okay, hold on. All right, Phil. We have a micro harvester that takes this frame. Let me move this out of the way a little bit further. Let me turn this just a hair. And it takes this frame that has cassettes in it. So there's 8 cassettes in here. And the idea is the bees fill this up with, cover this with wax before you put it into your hive. Bees will stuff this with nectar, cap it over. You kind of know it's done, right? And then when you're ready to extract, pull the cassette out. And yes, this will probably be a little challenging when there's propolis and wax involved. Pull this cassette out, get your harvester ready. Take your cassette apart. You don't have to uncap it. Take the cassette apart like this. Now you've exposed what is now honey inside the frame. So then we take that,
I
put
presume
it
that the honey holes are on an angle, so when you open it up, it ain't gonna just all roll out onto the ground.
in the 4 cassettes that I saw extracted, it didn't come running out. Now, that's not to say that it won't happen, because it very well could, right?
Yeah.
But the way these are, there's a little bit of resistance inside of these. It's not just completely pass through, right? It's probably hard to see, but there's some backstops to each of these. And when you put them together, they create a bottom. And I'm about to lose a mic. Yeah.
On either side. Okay, I get
Right. Yeah. Bill, when you lose my audio, just tell me and I'll flip over to the phone camera.
Okay.
And so then you put those in here, you turn this on, push the button.
Is that got a power cord or is it battery operated?
It's battery operated. It'll run off the power cord too. It just uses your standard USB-C adapter. You might be able to hear it. Well, you can't hear it, it's in my ear. But it's spinning. So that'll spin honey out, and then just use a spatula, pour it into a jar, pour it right onto your toast, pour it into a cup, do a couple of cassettes, depending on what you need. The benefit is you don't need some 4x4 space by 6 feet tall to store all your extra gear that you need for doing extraction if you're just a small scale person, right? You're just doing it for your own personal benefit. You want your garden pollinated, but you want a little bit of honey and you enjoy the bees. Thinking about it on a broader scale, and I know you go to markets, this is an interesting way to connect with the consumer. And I know we get asked a lot, how do you get honey out of a beehive, right? And this would be a interesting way to show that, also an educational tool. And then people could taste it. Now we talked a little bit about the requirements for that, but and then you can just say, well, this is what's in the bottle, right? So, and then you think about some of your higher end restaurants. I know we have a couple that are just east of us that tend to they have hives on the property, and they bring the whole frame in and put it on a display board, and they'll bring that to the table if you want fresh honey. This creates a different experience by actually having it extracted right there at the table in what is now a more consumable quantity than maybe tarnishing a full frame. And when it comes time to put this all back together, if you want to put it back together, stuff it in the box, that's great. Put it back in the colony for the bees to do their thing again, or just put them out on the table like you would do with your standard frames and let the bees clean up whatever's there, run these through, wash them, however you want to do it, and then they're stored. There's no wax to protect at the end of the day with this. That's kind of the very high-end synopsis. Does that help?
Yeah, he said nifty.
It is nifty. We're anxious for spring to get here so we can try it.
So here's a question from Bill Lee. So do the bees have to uncap it before they can refill it, right? They
would most likely, if you put it right back in there, there's going to be honey on it and that kind of thing, and they'll take that wax and move it around and do their thing with it. And yes, Tom, you could freeze the cassettes for later use. You wouldn't have to freeze the whole frame even.
Yeah.
That'd be a good, when the beekeeper has, an apartment, they got a beehive on the balcony, you can just
exactly. Small scale beekeeping.
Or even clubs. This was an idea that a couple of club people came by and talked about, where they just have a couple of people in their club that the micro harvester, Brent, where they just have a couple of hives, but they're a member of the club. They could buy the frames and borrow the extractor. That's one model, right? Yeah. Or rent the extractor if the club's trying to fund their youth program or other tools that they offer.
Yeah. So it's the micro harvester. Is the name of it, Brent.
Yeah.
And I'll post the website link right there for you. It's in the chat, Brent. And they have them on the website. They have a special knobby price that includes 10 frames. The harvesters will be available March of 26 for delivery. Yep. So go on the website and check them out. They got some pretty good deals. It looks like it would work very well for somebody that's small scale or, a beginner that just wants to see what his honey tastes like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or create an experience, right? Yeah. There's our honey judge here in Texas, one of the first ones west of the Mississippi. We talked with her a little bit, and this could be interesting for their kind of, they do, you've heard of wine tasting, right? And so she's a honey judge and also becoming a honey sommelier of similar nomenclature. And this could be interesting. We were talking with her about, give this to some of the places you want to capture some honey from. And now you have an easy way to transport that and do a different kind of part of the experience when you have your tastings and that kind of thing. We went to one of her tastings, very well done, and this would just add a different. It would help people that are there to understand how does honey come out of a hive, but here's some unique honey and that kind of thing. So
Yeah, it would elevate the tastings.
Yep.
Because you're getting it
Yep.
right out of the frame.
Yep. Put these down in South Texas and capture some wahia. Yeah, bee nuts, honey. The extractor part is going to ship in March. It sounds like what Bill said, which kind of lines up with what they were talking about. Oh, maybe that wasn't the same question. Sorry, bees nuts, honey. I just read that again.
No, he wants to know when I'm going to ship his order.
Right. Yeah, I got that now. I'm answering the wrong question.
Yeah.
You can do this right in the bee yard. It runs on a battery. There's no cord.
You could.
Same phone. Same. Yeah, Mike, I don't know the answer to that. I don't have that one committed. I assume the question you're asking is how much honey you get out of a frame or out of a cassette. I need to go get the answer to that.
On the website, it showed, if I can find it again. What was it? Hive
Keepers. It's in the chat.
Duh.
Probably still in your copy and paste.
On the website, it shows him holding a picture of a cup, and it looks like about a half a cup of honey in the picture.
Yeah. Mileage will vary, I guess.
So
if you put 9 frames in your 10 frame box, they draw that out a little deeper. Get more of a bubble on it.
So what's your weather like out there, Andy? Is it cold or?
Hold on. Our weather, I got to fix my mic. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So our weather here today was a high of 48 and rainy. Perfect weather for a duck, right? By Wednesday, I think we'll be back to the 60s. And by the weekend, we're supposed to be clear and flirting with the low 70s. So
you're all over the place.
Yeah.
Now you don't get a lot of rain out there anyway, do you?
We get a fair amount. Now we're kind of in a drought right now. Now this couple of inches we've had over the past couple of days has helped that a little bit, but we get a fair amount of rain here. We're in Houston, so we're not west where the rain would be a little bit less.
I just, a lot of Texas is dry and all.
When you go west past 35, which runs up from San Antonio and Austin and from the west side up through, I guess that's Waco. I don't know if it goes all the way to Fort Worth. I think it does. West of there is a little bit more arid. East of 35, and especially east of 45 or 75, is more of our piney woods, more luscious, lots of pine.
Yeah, I've heard that you guys do a lot of southern yellow pine, which I was quite surprised. Yeah. I've been through the Panhandle, and to me, that's just, it's tumbleweeds and dust.
Yeah, it's more west. Yeah. 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 If you look at our member list for Texas, the association, the majority of the beekeepers are east of 35, and even really the bulk of them are kind of, I'd say 100 miles, 75 miles west of 45 or 75, and then the bulk of them are east and north. So that's not to say that there aren't beekeepers west, because there are, and there are some plants that bloom that way, mesquite and some other things. Yeah.
Jeremy's around, I don't know where he lives at. He's in Texas, but he's around where the cotton fields are.
West.
Granado.
LaGrange?
No, it's his thing's called Granado.
Okay.
Anyway, he's got, what do you call them? There's trees or bushes out there that get honey. Not tumbleweed, but
We have a few of those. The trees that produce honey. In this part where I'm at, that is an invasive species called Chinese tallow.
yeah, we got that around here too.
Do you?
Yeah, some of
Really?
it. Not,
Yeah.
I don't have it, but around any waterways, you got Chinese tallow.
Okay.
But he showed me that. I forget what kind of darn honey it is. It's sort of deserty looking places, but they got these bushes, and they're not trees. I thought they were bushes.
It's not wahia. It's not wahia, is it?
Yeah,
Mesquite. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mesquite
So
honey
South
is good.
Texas,
I always
they
thought
produce
mesquite was
wahia.
tumble.
No. Hey, Jeff. Yeah, wahia honey is fantastic. It comes out of South Texas. At least is my understanding. And it is some of the creamiest. It's, in my opinion, it's fantastic.
And tallow, I've had tallow. Lee's given me tallow. Mike Barry's given me tallow. And tallow's not a real sweet honey. I like a real sweet honey. It's got a sort of an aftertaste to it, or a bite.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Charlie, you've been spoiled by all that honey from up north.
I'll tell you, the best honey I've ever had was when I get, most of my honey is, if I get that year that the locust is predominant.
Yep.
That's like when you grab a spoonful of that coming out of the extractor.
Yeah.
That tastes like cotton candy.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, now Lee and them, they don't like that sweet honey. They're used to the tallow down there. And then they were talking about Chinese knotweed, and there was another one down there, some kind of a bush around the water that's real super sweet.
Now, Charlie, do you guys have the spotted lanternfly?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't have.
Have you tried?
Three years ago, we had a heavy infestation where you couldn't walk without them things hitting you in the face, or landing on you, or squashing them every step you walked, and they filled up. It's a fall. It's the first time we had a fall crop, I'll call it, after we extracted. But that has I didn't extract it. I left it on for the bees. But it's dark, and it has sort of a smoky barbecue taste to it.
Yeah, I have some here at the store. We use it for sampling and that kind of thing. My description when I tasted it last year at ABF was a cold night that somebody just started a fire, and you could smell the smoke, post oak in the air.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yep, that's about right.
And its medicinal value, according to, is even better potentially than, or some studies have shown it's better than Manuka.
Yeah. Yeah, we had what's her name from up in Pennsylvania there up here at Penn State.
Yeah, that's who I bought it from.
She
Or a donation to her lab.
she zooms into our club meetings occasionally.
Yeah,
And
if you wanted lanternfly honey, Andy, I could have given you gallons of it.
I wasn't selling it. I
Just
wouldn't
to get rid of it.
Yeah.
That was a hot seller when it first started, you know, about being medicinal Underwood. Yeah. Robin Underwood. That's it, Carl.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. But those bugs have kind of tapered after after the first year when they hit here.
Uh-huh.
Then each year after that, they've been dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. And I hardly seen any of them this year. I don't have any extra honey coming in because of it anymore.
Yeah. The thing about it is where I'm at in Virginia, you've got 95, you've got 81, and you got 77. You have a major rail line going west, and you've got two major rail lines going south. And that's how they're getting everywhere, is either on the trucks, trailers, or rail cars. And that's how they're spreading.
But the weather, they don't like cold weather.
Yep.
And then the praying mantis, they say the big praying mantis is supposed to be an invasive species per se. But anyway, that's their number one predator. That's what they like to eat. So they've been chowing down.
Yep.
And all that. But seems to be okay. They were more worried about the vineyards getting hit hard that first year here and all that. And I think they still probably do to a certain extent, but the one that's close to me, of course, they're spraying all the time.
Yeah.
One thing, I did see their spraying machine, and I was quite impressed where it goes up and over the trellis, you know, but down on the bottom is a sort of like I don't know, like a bag, I guess you would call it, or a tent. This thing's, you know, the sprayer is kind of encapsulated in a tent, and there's a recovery mechanism on that. So the spray, the overspray, it goes into that bag and goes back into the system. And I asked the owner about it, and he said, yeah, they cover like 25% of spray with that. He said it was worth the money. It paid for itself big time.
Oh yeah.
At all. So, but but you know, I talked to him about grapes and stuff, and they make their own wine down here and all that stuff, and they have wine or orchards, I guess you'd call them, in our area, vineyards. But then he said, I've got so many acres up closer to the mountains of Maryland and Pennsylvania, like, you know, up around the snow country up that way, which the elevation makes that wine better for some reason. You know,
I've heard that. Yeah.
Has something to do with the elevation.
Yeah.
He said the better wine comes from up there in the Allegheny Mountains, Appalachian Mountains, and all.
That's why there's a lot of vineyards down through the valley here.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's Tiny Creek needs sourwood. Well, that's going to be down in the south. There's ain't no sourwood around where I live.
No, there's no sourwood around here either.
I guess that's a predominant tree that grows only in the mountains at a certain level, sea level.
Yeah, you find it down around Charlottesville because, especially with Ryan, he's got some hives up in the mountains.
Yeah.
So, and when you get further south of here, and you get people, the beekeepers up up on the upslopes, that's where you find it. Like Clay, where he's at, there's a lot of it down there.
Well, I bought a bottle of sourwood, but according to Bob Benny, you don't know whether you're really getting any sourwood or not. You know, they say it's supposed to taste great. I don't know whether I've really actually ever tasted it any different. You know, what I tasted, I said, well, I don't see what the big hype's about.
I'd rather have locust.
Yeah, I thought
when you can get it.
Huh?
When you can get it.
Well, that's the thing. You know, I've noticed one thing is like we have different types of honey all over the country, and wherever the beekeeper is that harvested that type of honey in their location, that's the kind they like because that's the kind they grew up on.
Yeah.
Where you know, and where I go down where it's got a aftertaste, a bitter taste, they think it's great. I don't like it, you know, and then you give them something that's super sweet. Well, they don't particularly care for that.
Yeah.
Mark says it tastes like confectionery sugar. Well, it sounds like locust almost to me. I must not have had some of it.
Mm.
But all right, Tiny Creek, what was the one? And Bob Benny talked about it in one of his videos where the honey tastes like cough syrup. Because I had tasted something like that here 6 months ago. And I don't know what it was, cherry. I don't think it was cherry.
I think it's a cherry. Because if you catch the wild cherry around here at a certain time of the year, it tastes like that.
DC says mountain mint. Well, that ain't a tree. That's a
bush.
That's a bush. I planted that here. Clay says wild cherry.
Yeah. And Mark says black cherry. So yeah, it's a type of wild cherry.
Wild cherry and black cherry about the same thing.
If you catch it at near, I think it's near the end of the flow.
I don't think it's kudzu. Isn't kudzu the one that's blue?
Kudzu is a invasive weed.
Oh, I know it is.
It's found along the roadsides because VDOT planted this stuff thinking they wouldn't have to mow as much, and now they're regretting it.
Oh yeah, it's. I mean, that'll grow a mile a minute.
Yeah.
Rhododendron, or is that the one that's supposed to be poisonous? Or no, mountain laurel is the one that's
mountain laurel. I know is poisonous. That only grows in the really higher elevations.
Yeah, well, that's the one. It has a purple grape flavor honey. Yeah, I'd like to. Now there would be a honey there that I would like to get a hold of.
Yeah. Rhododendron. DC says rhododendron is toxic to bees.
They say yellow jasmine. Is it yellow jasmine is too?
I don't know.
I think that's what I learned a couple weeks ago.
Or is that rhododendron? RODY. DC's out there in Washington State where you got blackberry bushes. That ought to taste pretty good to me. Of course,
really.
They look at blackberry bushes out there as an invasive. They hate them out there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I might have to go get me a bag.
Drizzle some hot honey on that.
So yes, yellow jasmine is toxic to honeybees.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking with a queen.
I know over there in Taiwan, Dr. Ramsey, he talked about some kind of honey they got over there, and you're not allowed to eat it or have it. It's like it's like a, what do you call it? Um, it's psychedelic honey, make you go woo.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I think it's like taking mushrooms or something like that, smoking mushrooms or something.
Yeah, the South Carolina state flower is yellow jasmine.
Yeah, that's it, Brian. Hallucinogenic.
Hallucinogenic. Yep.
But anyway, you guys done anything in your bees in the last week or so?
It's been a little bit too cold.
Well, Saturday it was about 44 degrees, my truck said, so I hit him with OA. I haven't checked him. It's been the next day it rained and it was crappy. And today I actually had sunshine but it was, I don't know, maybe 40 degrees.
Yeah.
We picked up a swarm last week, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess it's not unusual for Texas to get a swarm that late.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, you don't, you have actually snow out there at all?
No. Hell's pretty close to freezing over if we get snow.
Well, wait a minute. You did have snow a couple of years ago, and you guys all lost your water and everything else.
In our mind to go with it, but yeah, we did. But that's not a common thing.
Everybody thought they were going to freeze to death and everything else.
Yeah.
Well, what was it? You guys are on your own power grid out there, and of course, you guys don't bury your water lines, but what, 3 inches underneath the ground?
Right. All those things are true, Charlie. All those things are true.
Well, I mean, you
And
know,
we put our water tanks in the attic, and the pipes are run in the attic with very little insulation on them.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like you go down to Georgia down there where we picked up truckloads of bees. And you go out there and you're going down the road and you see these people's houses, you know, a rancher or whatever, 2-story house and, 2-acre lot. And here's the darn water pump and pressure tank, water pressure tank sitting outside on a slab.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what is that doing out there?
Yeah.
Now
down in Florida, you see fire pumps and everything sitting out underneath of an awning with no walls around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, and sometimes they might have a little shed around it or whatever, or you might, one guy, I forget what it was, he was on the internet. Yeah, I went out here and that tank froze or the water froze. So he built a shed around it so it would, have enough protection to not freeze. And I'm like, my goodness, we have that inside our house in the basement where there's heat, to keep it from freezing.
Yeah. But Brent's right. We called it Snowmageddon. Yeah. Yeah. Ended up with a water leak. Damn it.
But, different areas.
Yeah.
Different things, I mean, well, it's just like go up north and they, put bees in a barn where we don't do that. And, I don't know what else, that, different areas do different things and all that. But it's like up there, what is it, Chicago? I think I do some History Channel stuff. They actually have underground tunnels. I don't think they use them anymore, but so they could walk from one building to the next because of the severe cold weather up there.
Mm-hmm. So Melissa, come in here and give us an update on the No Life Beekeepers gathering and dinner. I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't seen any posts on Facebook or anything about it here lately.
And DC, that concrete fiber thing, I know a friend of mine, Lloyd, has that same thing, which I'm going to say 15, 20 years ago was totally brand new. And I don't think a lot of people use that construction type. I know there used to be cement blocks, and now everything is cement forms.
Yeah, now the walls of my basement in the house here that we just built, it's like 6 inches of concrete, 6 inches of foam, 6 inches of concrete. It's a pre-poured walls,
Precast.
precast walls. They come in, there's no footers. It sits on 6 inches of number eights is what it sits on. And there's no, basically the whole basement is a drain underneath of it. And they come in, they set a wall, they set another one beside it, they interlock with each other, and they take a bolt at the top and a bolt at the bottom. Hell, it looks like a 3/4 inch bolt that's about 8 inches long, and they run it in there, and it pulls it together and ties the walls together like that.
Just like a silo bunker.
Yeah, they had my basement set up in, I don't know, I think it was 2.5 hours.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And that's a slide together house, isn't it?
Yeah. It was prefab house, pre-built.
Yeah, you see a few of them around here like that. And actually, my cousin lives south of you there. That's what they had built too.
Yeah.
Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Melissa.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I've just been busy this evening, and I actually can't stay on long because I have to go pour some candles tonight. So I'll give you all my information. I'll give you my whole spiel, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So there's two events going on right now. Number one is the Hives for Heroes raffle that is Philip Morris with RTX Honeybees. He's done this for the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And us as a live chat beekeeping community have come together, and we're able last year to donate a bunch of items and raise about $2,200 in the raffle, selling tickets to benefit Hives for Heroes. And we were able to, as a group, present one of those big, huge checks to Hives for Heroes at Nabi last year. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of people donated some really amazing things to make that happen. And this year, we kind of have the same thing going, except for this year, it's a little bit easier to donate because we've actually hooked up with Hives for Heroes, and they have their own donation website link or whatever. So anything you donate goes directly to them. You don't have to send money to somebody else and then we'll send it to them. It automatically goes to them. And I can share that here in a second. But I've been working all night on the raffle donations. We've got 20 raffle donations, and they are some really amazing items. We got an Enel hive. We've got the Defender hive from the Flower Street Farms is donating, that is being sold by 21st Bee Michael Mahar. Michael Mahar himself is donating frames and a dog bed. We've got some honey gift baskets that are coming. I don't have all the details on those yet. We've got some Type Bond 3 being donated. We've got some frame crackers for when you're harvesting honey to crack the frames away from your box. We have, oh my gosh, there's just so much. Some swarm traps. Matthew with Sandy Valley Honey Company, he's donating a ton of fondant that he makes, his personal fondant, in case anybody hasn't heard of that. So we just got some really amazing items being donated, and the tickets are $5 a piece or $5 for $20, I believe. Let me bring up the flyer. Hold on one second. Oh, that's the wrong thing. So this one, yes. So here is the flyer. I don't know if you can zoom in on that bill or not.
That's as big as it gets.
So this is the flyer explaining the raffle. Again, I'm working on the prize flyer right now. I don't have all the information from all the donors yet, so I'm waiting on a few donors to get me their pictures and their information yet. But if you, apparently that QR code that I have on here doesn't work with Android phones. But if you have an Apple phone, good for you. We can be friends. Tom's not in my friends group on this issue here. Anyway, apparently that QR code works on Apple phones, but it doesn't work on Androids for whatever reason. I'm not sure. But the ticketing website is right there at the bottom, thegivebutter.com/no_life_b_life ? S equal. You guys can read it or screenshot it. But you can go there and get your tickets to be entered into the raffle. Like I said, there is some really amazing prizes in this raffle. I'm not showing the picture till I finish the whole thing.
Show them. I want to see them.
No. So anyway, that's the first event that we have going on. And we just really want to beat our donation that we made to Hives for Heroes last year, which was $2,200. So if we could, at least minimum match that, but we really, really want to beat that. So yeah, that would be great if you all could. Well, my Apple can read the QR code and your Android can't. No, anyway.
Agree with Philip and Michael.
Philip, do you want that poster done or not? Anyway, just kidding. But yeah, we would love, again, Philip started this 3 years ago, and it's just kind of really become something of a community outreach for Hives for Heroes. And it's just amazing and been really fun to help Philip put all this together and see what generous community members that we have just with the things that are being donated. And it's not necessarily companies that are donating these items. It's individuals out of our YouTube live chats.
Companies?
I mean, there's a couple companies, yes, but a lot of the things are from individuals. So that's there too. I can remember. The other thing that I want to share is the, if I can bring it up, the No Life Beekeepers dinner. Let me see if I can find the right picture here. I think this is it. Thanks, Phil. I appreciate it. Okay, so the dinner, the Nabi dinner, is not sponsored by Nabi at all whatsoever. This is just for our YouTube live community and whoever else wants to join us to just come together, have dinner. It's like a meet and greet fellowship type thing. There's no cost for the tickets. Tickets are free. We will be having finger foods, desserts, drinks, and we are collecting donations. If you would like to donate to the dinner, it is absolutely not required. But if we get enough donations, we will have it catered. We'll do like a pizza catering. And we're about, I don't know, $700 away from being able to cater it. So if anybody wants to donate, that would be much appreciated. The first QR code there is to get your tickets. It is free, but you do have to have a ticket because we can only have 175 people at the dinner. After that, apparently we have to hire security because we know how rowdy beekeepers are.
And is that a QR code only for an Apple phone?
No, that one works for everybody. That's why I couldn't figure out why the other one only worked on, it was really weird because I made them both on my laptop. Anyway, So that QR code will take you to the Eventbrite website, app, whatever, and that's where you can get the tickets for the event. Again, the tickets are free. As of right now, we're doing finger foods, desserts, drinks. You can bring in outside food. Even if we have it catered, are able to have it catered, you can still bring in outside food. So stop by your favorite restaurant, grab some takeout, and bring it with you. Again, it's just going to be a night before Nabi starts, because it's that Wednesday before Nabi, to just hang out and meet everybody and say hi before the crazy starts the next day. Again, if you want to donate to the dinner, my Venmo that is right there, make sure that you note in the Venmo transaction that it's for the Nabi dinner, because we are keeping track of all the monies donated, because anything that does not get spent on the dinner will be also donated to Hives for Heroes. So nobody's making any money off this dinner whatsoever. Everything is either getting spent on the dinner or is getting donated to Hives for Heroes. So, and everybody's welcomed. You don't just have to be in these chats. So if you know somebody who's going to Nabi and you want to go to the dinner and that person doesn't do YouTube chats, invite them. Like, the more the merrier. Up to 175 people. And as of right now, we are at 108. So there's not that many tickets left.
And you said it's $700 left to go.
Around about. I had a couple of donations come in today, and so I'm guesstimating right now. I haven't added it up today exactly. So it's between $700 and $800 that we still need to raise to cater it.
Catered.
To cater it, yes.
What are you talking about as far as food for the catering?
So that catering would be done by Craft House Pizza, and that would be like, I can't remember off the top of my head. A couple of slices of pizza per person, cheese sticks, and salad is what it kind of amounted to for the catering. And Craft House Pizza is a local pizza restaurant in that area. We've eaten there several times, and it's really good pizza. That's actually where we had the dinner last year. We just outgrew the space that they had that you could rent. So we moved it elsewhere, but if we could have them cater it, that would be amazing. Again, if not, any money that has been donated will just go to the dinner, and then whatever's not spent will go to Hives for Heroes.
Hey, the QR code, what is it not working on? The RTX raffle for the donation?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, again, would love for everybody to be there. If you can, that'd be great. And if anybody has any questions, just you can email me at viahoneybees.com or viahoneybees@gmail.com.
I have a question.
No, Tom has a question.
Do I get to go?
Tom wants to know if he gets to go. It's undecided at this point. We'll see how his behavior is over the next month. So.
Well, he's batting 1,000 tonight, let me tell you.
All right. Surprise, surprise.
Well, thank you, Melissa. I appreciate you coming on and give us an update.
No problem. Again, if anybody has any questions about the dinner or the raffle, you can reach out to me at viahoneybees@gmail.com or send me a Facebook message, whatever works.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I will talk to everybody later, and I'll let Tom go back to harassing everybody.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Tom's working on a timeout tonight is what he's working on. He may find out what the couch is like tonight.
All right, Bill, I'm going to have to sign off. I'm about out of juice.
All right, Andy. It's probably been a long day for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Started at 4:45 this morning, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for letting me be on here, Charlie. It was good to see you. Nice to hear
good
from
to see
folks online.
Andy, come back anytime, buddy.
All right, we'll do it. Talk to you guys soon.
All right. Good night. So that's been an interesting conversation with him tonight.
Dinah, I think, is talking about probably lantern flies.
Are you talking about lanternflies, Dinah?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not as prevalent as they were here in Shenandoah County either.
They like say about 2 years ago, 3 years ago is when it was happening,
Yeah.
but I don't see it the last couple of years. So, like I said, I vaped my highs Sunday. It was about 44 degrees, is what the truck said. It was sunny, and all that. And bees were, I mean, they really weren't flying, but I did see, I'll say, scout bees coming out. One or two or three.
Yeah.
Either coming out the back door where the vaporizer goes in, or going out the front door, or if I blocked them up here, they are trying to get back in and that kind of stuff.
Yep. Hey, Dinah, if you look back or if you contact her, she's already done quite a bit of analysis on the spotted lanternfly honey, and she's published some of it, but not all of it.
Well, what happened was, Bill, is Baltimore beekeepers that the ones where we had the group, the pictures and all was on Facebook.
Yeah.
Lynn, she sent, I don't know, 5 or 6 bottles up there from different areas, and she's checking out
Okay.
different types of different analysis of the honey depending on where it's located at.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
all that, whether it's in Maryland versus Pennsylvania, and she's doing those experiments on it.
So that's the analysis that Dinah said she's waiting for. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what she's trying to discover, but something of that nature.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see those results, because I know here when they were pretty heavy, you could go to one part of the county and not have any. And then the closer you got to the interstate, the heavier they were. So that just, the extension office, that kind of upheld their theory about how they're
Either that
moving around.
or it's more of a flight path.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Flight path, turbulence, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, around here we haven't had much. Last 2 years, maybe 3, has pretty much been zero. And all that.
Yeah, it's very funny. I've never seen one of those lanternflies fly very far at all.
He jumps more, he hops.
Yeah, it's
But
more 10, 12 feet than it is anything else.
Well, the ones that we had, you could see whole tree sides loaded, just like a swarm of bees.
Yeah.
On the side of a tree. And then you'd be walking like out in our parking lot and they'd hit you in the head. All that stuff. But like I say, all that stuff is gone.
Yeah.
Which is fine with me. So
yeah.
It's supposed to be cold the rest of this week. It's 29 degrees right now.
Yeah, it's 27 here, and it's starting to cloud up. So, and then Friday they're calling for snow again.
Yeah, they said something about that. I forget what the guy, what the weather folks said.
Yeah, they're calling for light snow showers from early in that morning all the way up through mid-afternoon.
Yeah, Friday. Yeah, they're only talking maybe a little bit for an hour in the evening at right at this time is what they're calling for.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be in the 30s or 40s or whatever.
Yeah, we're looking at 40s the rest of this week, 30s and 40s next week, 30s the week after that, 30s and 40s all through Christmas. So let's see what they're talking about in January.
Good time to move hives if you need to move hives
Yeah, you're right.
without a whole lot of problems.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's see what they're calling. Extended forecast is in Louisville, Kentucky. It's not supposed to be bad the week of Nobby.
So that's good.
According to the extended forecast.
Yeah. Anybody that needs to has to turn a ticket in, let's say to Nobby because of sickness or whatever, you got until the 20th of this month. Just to let anybody know.
Yeah.
And then we got, what is it? The Tom and Melissa's kind of co-chairs on the Eastern Missouri Beekeepers Association, EMBA.
Yep.
And that'll be February the 20th or something like that.
I think it's the 18th. Let me look here real quick. I don't have it in that calendar. But we're leaving on the 18th, right? And be there on the 19th, and the conference is the 20th and 21st.
Let me.
I think that's what
we're all right. We're gonna leave on Wednesday, the 18th.
Yeah.
And then we will arrive. Then we'll go out to Louisville, and then from Louisville, the next day will be at Missouri Beekeepers Conference.
Yep.
Is there something going on Thursday night, or is it just we're just going to get there?
I think we're going to get there.
And then the conference itself is Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, we're going to harass Tom Thursday night, the 19th.
So I will leave Tuesday and come to your house.
Yeah.
And then we'll get up and go Wednesday morning.
Yep.
And all that. And I will leave Tuesday. It'll take me 12 hours to get to Louisville.
Hey, Brad, yes, they have vendors at their conference in Eastern Missouri. When are you coming in down there, Michael?
It'll take us, let's say, 5 hours to get there. You said 4.5, Tom or Melissa.
Yeah, we'll see you Thursday evening, Tom.
Yeah.
When you get there. If anything we can help you do, let us know. We'll help you do it.
Going to have 20 vendors. It's like a miniature Nobby, in my opinion. And to be quite honest with you, the speakers, some of them we already know. I know that Brian from Flower Street will be speaking, and Kent Williams. There's a real beekeeper right there.
Yeah.
And he's the only EAS master beekeeper that I will recognize. Because he is a master beekeeper
Yeah.
in all intents and purposes. And I don't know. There's several other folks that are going to be there. And the topics, I don't remember what they are right now, but they seem to be quite interesting.
Yeah.
And when you go there, you get to pick they provide you in the ticket price a sandwich and stuff there. So DC, you're going to come to Missouri? Is that what it is? Okay, DC is going to go to Nobby. Okay.
You'll enjoy Nobby, DC.
Yeah, it'll be the beekeeping on steroids.
Yep.
So, did you look at Better Bee's latest video with Hammerjack and David Peck talking about the increase of OA?
I saw a little bit about it. I didn't watch the whole video. I just watched part of it because I got busy. I think the increase in the OA is a good thing for now.
Oh yeah, but what I was getting at is that they got what's it called, the OA from overseas. They're the ones that are changing the label, so the label's getting changed. So it's not something they, I thought it was just the federal government got it to that point. Now the product people are changing labels. I did send an email to Mike and out there at Easy Ox. I didn't hear back from them yet. Mike and Travis, I think it is.
Yeah, I'm placing another order tomorrow.
I asked them, are they going to be able to change their labels without,
investing a lot of money,
being ripped off?
Yeah. I mean, the EPA is the one that changed it, not them. They didn't
apply for it.
Apply to do it. So they should do it for free.
The Demery, I don't think that's going to charm anybody.
No.
Maybe I can get a dance out of them. That'll charm them a little bit.
Yeah, you might.
So, but that'll be, yes, I'm glad that they finally changed it. I listened to the science guys and they're saying you did and you should this and doing that. And I'm like, hey, you guys are the ones that are behind, not us. We know what we need to do.
Yeah.
We knew for 10 years that we knew what we needed to do.
Yep.
You guys, you got to get off your hands and do something.
Yeah.
Actually, I said something like that to Peck down at Hive Life. He said, it was. We had this big hall, and he asked the hall a question. Would you stay under the rules and regs on the label, or are you going to go and do what's needed to be done? And 3/4 or better, 80% said, we're going to go and do what needs to be done. And he was kind of flabbergasted.
He was taken aback by that answer.
Taken aback big time. And my question to him was, I says, if I go by the labels and my bees die, or is the government going to take and pay me for my hives? Like that ELAP stuff that you're talking about?
Yeah.
And he says, nope. I said, well, I guess we're not going to be doing that, are we? I can't afford that. Didn't like
Not
that.
many people can.
No, didn't like that. So, but it was all about money. When you got
That's what it's
big
all
corporation,
about the money.
big corporation over there, when they poured the money into the EPA, oh, yeah, we can get anything done then. We're filling our pockets, as long as everybody gets their pockets filled, everything goes well.
Yep, that's all they care about.
That's all it is.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah, figured on moving.
Well, it is almost 10 o'clock, and it's been an interesting evening. We've had some good chats on here tonight. I want to thank Andy again for coming in and talking about the micro extractor, and want to get him back on here to talk about his uncapping machine that he brought back once he gets a little bit more time with it.
It looked like to me that thing it was like
Heat
an
on it.
uncapping, what do you call it?
Yeah, like a fork, uncapping fork on it. I want to say thank you to Melissa for giving us an update on both the Hives for Heroes and the Nobby dinner. And looking forward to seeing everybody at Nobby. It's been a year. So.
Well, and I can tell everybody at the new place, the other place was, well, we didn't know what we were getting last time. And even Melissa didn't know. And we thought we were getting the whole restaurant. But the new place, I've been there. I went there for the mead tasting thing. And it's very roomy. It's like a wedding venue type hall, wedding hall type of thing. It's a large venue.
Do they have a dance floor for you, Charlie?
Yeah, they got that too. But anyway, there's plenty of seats and tables and a very very comfortable venue and all that. I'm not sure remember what the parking's like, but it should be able to hold stuff.
Well, that's
maybe
good.
Maybe we can all kind of commute together or something.
Yeah. We can all ride. We can rent a party bus and go.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do appreciate everybody coming in here. I understand Tom's probably going to be up most of the night with pushing snow or working snow. You guys out in the Midwest, I hope everything goes well for you with all the snow you're getting.
Yeah.
We're going to be getting it soon. Maybe not that much, but we're going to get some winter weather, just enough to make things nasty and slippery around here for a while. So, but it was good to talk to everybody tonight. Tom, if you want to come in after this is over, you can. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream, and I will see you Friday night on Charlie's chat. So y'all have a good week and be careful out there in the weather. Good night.
See you now.